Hello and welcome to Nollywood Film Club. I'm Mr. C Iroko critic. I'm not doing this again. Okay, all right. Yes, we are just past half of the year. And we came up to have a fun discussion. No movie today. We will be discussing some of the things we've enjoyed throughout the first half of the year and the things we've liked. We'll talk about some of the things we haven't liked so much. There's an NFC score. It will be in the description if you want to take a look at all the NFC scores when we're having disagreements with them. Feel free to have a look. Follow us on Twitter whilst you're there at Iroko Critic. And we do recommendations based on there's a segment based on recommendations of anything else we've discussed. I want to say, although you'll see in the timestamp, it's a very short section. I think some people do have some recommendations in the summary. So don't be disheartened by how short it might be in the timestamp. And then we do a summary at the end to give you just a snapshot of how we feel 2024. Have I said 2023? I can't remember. Anyway, I do hope you enjoy Nollywood Film Club doing a half-year review. We'll get to that. That'll be in the summary. Welcome to Nollywood Film Club. We do discuss Nollywood movies every Sunday, or sometimes we do a topic like today, where we will be discussing the 2024 so far, the half-year review. We're going to discuss the movies we've discussed on Nollywood Film Club. We'll discuss our favorites and our least favorites. And then we'll discuss where we disagree with the NFC score the most, almost like if you ready like a top three. And then we'll discuss any other recommendations from any other platforms outside of NFC, something that maybe has caught your eye or caught your attention. To be honest, doesn't need to be a full recommendation, but if there's something like that you want to discuss, we'll do that too. But we will focus on some of the things that we have discussed so far on NFC. So we'll start with what people have liked so far this year. If you are unfamiliar with what we have discussed, the list is going to be pinned on the space. So have a look out for that. So we can start with Elizabeth. Elizabeth, tell us some of the things that you've liked so far this year in the year of our Lord 2024.
The year of our Lord 2024. Guys. So when you even started, I was like, me that I joined this space, I don't even know what we were discussing. I just jumped, requested. I know my time is going, so I went to go and check quickly what is it that I missed. People of God, out of 23 films, out of 23 sessions, I think I only joined for 10. That's a lot. That's 40, 45, 48%. And I think my favorites now, I think I've moved away from it again. My favorites, is that what we're talking about now? What I liked?
Oh yeah, the ones that you liked.
So out of the 10, and I looked at it, out of the 10, the ones that I liked was like, I liked The Meeting, which is top, the whatever, is a rewatch. I liked Phone Swap again, which is a rewatch. I don't think they should count. But I think my favorite that I wasn't exactly mad at, I was mad at execution. I was mad at the third arc. The third act rather. I was mad at a bunch of arcs, but I thought it was, a nice watch. And I've watched it twice, is Adire. As much as I was really mad at Adire, I also really liked it at the same time. So Adire is still my favorite for the year. You may not get it, but I also like, I will not have a rewatch. Don't convince me that I did not like it. Casa di Gbinovia. You may not understand, but I liked Casa di Gbinovia because it was a mess. 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 But I really liked watching it as a mess because I'm like, what is going on? But I really like that. I didn't join for Mommy Wa, but I struggled to finish it at some point. Yeah, uh, it's okay. It's not the it's usual style family movie yada yada. Yeah, could have also watched it on YouTube. But honestly, this year has not been great for me. There are a bunch of films here, at least 10, that I have not watched at all. We're going to keep it that way. I'm excited for myself. But this year did not give so much. But for all the ones that we've discussed, these are the few that I liked. A Tribe Called Judah, I watched it for the first time this year. I was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, so that's it for me. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Elizabeth. A few films mentioned this. So I felt like if you got honorable mentions as opposed to these are things that I liked, but it seemed like Adire was kind of the one, aside the rewatches of Fun Swap and the meeting, Mommy was sort of getting mention. But okay, all right. Alana, do you want to tell us some of your faves of the year so far?
Um, Good evening, guys. So my faves are, well, I don't. Okay, from the like old ones that I'm not sure they should count, but hey, yeah, we are talking about it. So I think the meeting has to be my favorite. We watched that movie like I don't even know how many times I've rewatched it, but yeah, it has to be my favorite for a very long time. And then from the ones we watched this year, maybe like not necessarily 2024, but yeah, it has to be Afame Funa, Kilboro from 2024, and this a tribe called Judah. And it's mostly because all of these are their themes are about maybe like family, about love, and about acceptance and the likes, I guess. So yeah, those are my favorites. I don't know if I have honorable mentions, but if you can include that, I think this movie, what's the name? Adiria would fall into honorable mentions. So yeah, those are the ones I liked. But for 2024 so far, has really given me. But Kilboro was close. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thanks, Alana. Yeah, okay. So some on my list, some on my list. Nolly Goodfella, do you want to tell us some of the things you have, some of the films you have liked this year? By the way, if you don't want to speak but you want to share your list, please drop in the comment below and we'll give it a read. Nolly Goodfella, please tell us some of your favorites from this year.
Hey everyone. Yeah, well, I might be leaving shortly, so I think I'll just take everything right now, if that's okay with you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
sure. Okay. Go
So,
ahead.
all right. So, I'd say that 2024 so far has been good. I mean, I'm not mind blowing, but it's been good, especially compared to last year. And a large part of that share goes to the new features project. So there've been three good films that have come out of that. Yeah, there's Kilgore. There is what is that one?
A Father's
It
Love.
A Father's Love, yes, and It Blooms in June. All three were movies that I liked. I would say my favorite movie from the year so far has been Fun Milayo. I heard I heard the addition of NFC, and there was a lot of criticism. I do get that I don't get a lot of the historical context, so strictly from a movie standpoint, it was something really well done, at least for me. I also like that the year started off with Adire, so that was another movie I liked. Um, yeah, all in all, there were quite a lot of movies I liked. In terms of movies that I didn't like, of course, there is Casa de Novia. But then the movie that tops it all is, I don't think we even spoke about it on NFC, but it is The Beads. Oh my, that was like was spectacular trash. It's trash that takes itself seriously. So yeah, I guess that's more or less all of it from 2024.
All right, thanks, Nolly. Good fella. What was that last one you said? The what? The one that you didn't
It's
like?
called yeah, it's called The Beads. I mean, it was so bad. I dropped the idea of doing a review and I did a recap of the movie. So that was my last week's video was that one. Oh, it's spectacular. I mean, it's trash that takes itself seriously. So it was yeah, it was really unintentionally hilarious. So yeah.
Got it. Thanks. All right, Mrs. C, do you want to tell us some of the things you?
Oh, I'm already up. Interesting. Let's see. So, gonna go with one of the classics, The Meeting. I enjoyed that.
Doesn't count really, but it does. But it doesn't.
Okay, if I should not count this year, the old stuff, Casa de Morovia. I had a great time with Casa de Morovia. Oh, I had a great time. I loved watching Annie. Annie was great. But honestly, I feel like for the most part, unless I'm coloring my recollection, it knew what it was. It knew what it was, and it just did what for at least a good part of it, right? It knew what it was. I appreciate that, you know? I had fun. The naked ghost, great. Uh, like the ghost that was basically her gay best friend. Love it. Absolutely love it. A ghost that can use a curling iron, fantastic. No, I had a great time. Tribe Called Judah, I enjoyed. You know, the puppy love with the irritating couple, but it still worked out for them. I thought that was great. Didn't really enjoy JKA's acting in that. And it had, you know, a few, it had its problems. But again, and we saw A Tribe Called Judah in cinema actually, which I think was potentially made for a better viewing experience than watching it on Prime. But I did enjoy that. What else did I enjoy? I enjoyed Kilboro. Again, I had my problems.
My list.
Oh, sorry, Novix. Again, one would think we have some things in common. Again, I enjoyed Kilboro. Again, it has its problems, many problems that I went into in the bad section. But I do, and there's something just quite interesting about a young child trying to take a hit out on his father. I thought, yeah, that was an interesting premise, and they, you know, for the most part, they kept me interested. I think that is about it for what I have liked this year. I want to say special shout out to A Weekend to Forget because what's the song again?
I don't know the Igbo piano.
No. Yeah, that's the one.
All right. Okay.
Oja piano.
Piano.
Vanessa's back from the mountains.
All right.
I have a question. Vanessa, when you were in the mountains, did the Lord show you your husband?
Well, the Lord didn't show me my husband. I was quite disappointed in it.
You gotta go to the desert for that.
I was quite disappointed in it. I was like, Badra. And I went to the top of the mountain and I still didn't receive any visions. So quite disappointed. Future husband, I don't know why you are hiding even from the Lord, but okay.
Okay. For people who are not aware, Vanessa said she trekked up some hills before.
Yeah. I trekked up some hills. I engaged in some white people activity, guys.
He made it.
All right.
I'm back.
So
Okay.
we're discussing our favorites of the year so far. That
I feel like favorite is a strong word, Mr. C.
Well, favorite is the best of
the best out of the bunch.
I wasn't here when you were saying all things don't count because I was gonna say The Meeting as my ones we've watched this year, but you're saying old stuff doesn't count. So I guess I'll say Kilboro. It had its issues. I had my issues with it, but overall the premise worked for me. It was a it was a first time director in it and first time writer and all of that whole thing. Well, first time director. There was potential there. I liked it. What else did I like? Um. Oh God. For for plain reasons of hilarity, Casa de Papel. Uh, yeah, I. What's her name? Anita is a beautiful, beautiful woman. She knew what film she was in. I don't know if the rest of the people did, but she carried heavily. It was great to see Taya Arimoro shirtless for the entirety of this, so love that for us. Um, what else did I like? Uluwamiu, third one. I've said the meeting. I've said Casa de Love, the Nova Scotia. Um.
You said Kilbur too, right?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I
Kilborough.
did say Kilbur. So that's three. That's three. I've got three.
Yeah.
I've got three. That's
Yes.
it.
Okay. Yeah, see.
That's it.
All right. Thanks, Vanessa. Still Human says her top three, Adire, Afamifuna, and Fumilaya Ransom Kuti. Rotimi has a top four of Kilbur, Strange, Afamifuna, and it blooms in June. We kind of discussed, but we didn't really discuss. Okay. Yeah, so for me, my let me get to my list. My favorites. I have Kilbur. I have the meeting, which doesn't really count.
Can you?
I have okay. I have thank goodness I have one here that Miss C did not mention. Casa de Novia, which for the same reasons everyone has said, but I like it because it's very bad. It's this year's Namaste Wahala. Um, Bank Alert, I have one here. I think both Kilborough, Bank Alert have their issues. They really do. Go listen to me discuss Kilborough, but there's something that feels very fresh and feels like, because sometimes we get, sometimes I feel like there's criticism on here for, aren't you just, like we know we're not there yet, like, so allow us some leeway. And the problem is a lot of these films aren't doing what I feel like a step in the right direction. And this, although it's a little late, does at least feel like a step in the right direction. So yeah, that was that for me for Bank Alert and Kilborough. Kilborough's third act is both Kilborough and Bank Alert's third act isn't actually the best. But anyway, and then finally, Vanessa, meet yourself. Come back from the hill and just be
Sorry.
making noise. And my last one was a tribe called Judah, which I will defend more than most. I'm not saying it's completely problematic, but people are not giving it. I don't think people give it the credit it deserves in terms of the writing and what that film executed. I genuinely think it's the best of Funke's trilogy. I'm not going to just use the sort of excuse of because I saw it in cinemas. I think the writing, it still has a lot of fat, but the writing in terms of motivations, in terms of things that drive, there's much better done than in any of the Nollywood films I've seen this year. All of them. So nothing compares. Nothing even sits with it, really. Obviously, the exception of the meeting, because that's but that's a throwback and it doesn't count. So yeah, those are my favorites from this year. Okay, let's do what we did not like so much. All right, Elizabeth. So from the 10 that.
Yeah, so before I even go into what I don't like, not everybody's mentioning Cuba. I just remember that it's actually this year too. And like everyone has also mentioned, I like the idea that a kid had a mission to off his papa. So I thought that was great. I just, again, execution. Why did it happen like that? The father's love, fantastic story too. There is something there. I just hope that it could have been tighter. If not, there's something there. Okay, so that's that for that.
Can I also add stuff that, like, a lot of times we collect some of these concepts that you mainly see from Western Hollywood, and it just always feels out of place, and it feels like it didn't feel like that for Kilborough.
Yeah, I didn't even, did you know that I didn't even imagine that Cuba was like a Western thing, because they really did start it well. This kid in this life, in this kind of life that he has found himself, seeing how horrible his father, and his father gave him enough motivation. And this is what I've always wanted for Nollywood. Your motivation does not have to be all over the place. You know, your motivation should be the first thing we're saying. Now let's go to what I hate the most. If I catch a family food in this life, if I catch a family food, I will kill a family food myself. Because I thought Afamefuna made a fool out of me. As I was watching, I was like, Una they whine me. Look, I can forgive this kind of story if I was watching it on YouTube. I can forgive it if I was watching a telenovela, which is not even possible because telenovelas know how to make multifaceted characters. Even if they bring their antagonist, let it be the antagonist for the sake of, I'm just a hater. I just want to hate. I like that. In fact, I don't mind that. I will imagine that you're being a hater for the sake of hating because you are committed to hating, which is good enough for me. But you know what what you should not be allowed to do? To be a goody two shoes for the sake of, oh, look at me. Enough that you are so good, you sound like another. You appear as another. And half of the time I want to kick. Imagine always wanting to constantly kick our protagonist. It's impossible. I don't even want to see you. It is not that story. Apart from that it was long-winded for the first act. By the time they were getting into the nitty-gritty, I don't mind the change of tone. It just did not flow. Nothing has annoyed me in this life the way Famefuna annoyed me. I could not even, in fact, at some point, I did not want to see the good in it because everything started annoying me. The choice of directing, the choice of blocking. In fact, I was just seeing triangle everywhere. I wanted to off myself. I'm like, get these people out of my. I didn't complete it for a long time. In fact, after when I joined NFC, I went to go and complete it later to just convince myself that I was not crazy, that it was going to end so badly. I've never seen somebody drop the ball on a perfect protagonist and antagonist. Paulo did not have to go from. We've already seen Paulo that he was a sneaky fellow, right? Even he's always trying to game the system. We've already seen it. There was no need to give us all that. He was getting that babe to steal her father's money to fine, whatever. You could have done that. But what really pissed me off again was when he went to go and accuse, like there was enough things to use on Paulo. But I want to party, give me money. Oh my God. Oh my, who sat down and wrote that part? Your bad guy is already a bad guy. You've given him motivation. His motivation was tight. He got cheated. It's enough for me, for him, I'm sure. If somebody feels he's cheated out of something and he becomes entitled to it, that is a good motivation. He does not need to give me money, I want to go and party. All of a sudden, it became irresponsible. All of a sudden, because you really needed to make him bad, then you really needed to make Afamefuna the goody two shoes. So you said, look at this guy. He's just giving money for so long. He's the best in the world. He will never do wrong. What do you mean? Afamefuna could have been the best protagonist in the world if he had orchestrated. No, not that, he didn't pay those guys again and he knew they would have killed. I don't want that. That's a cop-out. That's lazy. You didn't put your brain to work. If he had laid down, struggled with his inner self, let him have internal conflict and wake up one day and say, you know what? This guy is trying to destroy my family. I'm going to off him. We don't see him do it. We don't, in fact, he can even lie, deny it to the end, even deny it to the wife, deny it to himself that he didn't do it. But let's know that this guy is capable of evil to save his family. You dropped the ball, then you went for the easiest way out of your story. Like, oh, look at this, so good. Look at that, so bad. Ooh, God, if I catch up every food in real life, if I catch Kaide Kasum, it's on site. Okay, anyways, for that, which other film did I hate? You guys, I know that we do not like water and gari, but I don't eat water and gari as much as I hated that film now. Let me not lie. Water and gari, I can watch it for the high candy that it is, for the music that I did not hear, for the fact that Tiwa is so beautiful, for the fact that, the camera again just works. I don't know what it does or what it should be doing, but I like that when I got to the end, found out that the good guy was the bad guy. I was like, not bad, not bad. But outside of that, I didn't care. Water and Gary, probably the lowest, but I didn't care. Not as much as Family Food. I just want to remind you guys that that's the worst story I've seen. In fact, I can even say Dime Jalabi or Meji Alabi is not a filmmaker. So I mean, whoever wrote, maybe Tiwa also said maybe she saw it in a dream or she prayed the one thing or when the story came to her, whatever. Things can happen to people. People do see things, people do hallucinate, and then they go write it down and make a movie out of it. But I don't want to believe that Afamefuna is also an hallucination. But we know that water and Gary is a hallucination. So we keep it at that. An hallucination that shouldn't have happened, but it happened. So we pretend it did not happen. Which other one did I really hate this year? I didn't really watch a lot of things that could have got me heated, except for Afamefuna. So sorry that he's taking the hits, but he's always going to take the hits because I only watched 10 things on this list. Only 10. And Afamefuna should not have happened to me. Thank you.
Okay, I think there's an Afamefuna hit section, which honestly I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at. All right, I think Naughty Good Fella. I think you said the things you don't like. So I guess we're going to Vanessa, except if you had something you wanted to say. All right, Vanessa.
Hello, everybody. So I don't have as much vim as Elizabeth has because, like Elizabeth, I didn't watch a lot of the stuff on here. I mean, I watched them. No, it's a lie. I didn't watch. I missed a couple film clubs. Yeah, I don't feel as strongly as she does about Afami for now. I don't feel as strongly either about what's it called? Kilomankwe. Water and Gary and to make a Emma for your wedding day. Um yeah, because it just felt like a long music video where I couldn't even hear the music and I was like, wait, this song was on the soundtrack. But it is what it is. Films I didn't like. Auntie me Biodun, don't be upset, don't be angry. I'm not being. I know this is like the second time I'm saying this, but Kamashi Remo, let's not do this type of thing again. The Kujus again. The Kujus again. It wasn't until I saw this list that I remember that I watched it. I had burned that thing off of my memory. Yeah, a cluster, you know what? It was horrible. Everything was horrible. It was literally anywhere Bele face. That's what this film was. The weird out of nowhere addition of Don Jazzy. For who and for what was this film made? Like, what was the reason? What was actually the reason? What else didn't I like? What was the second? Guys, let me not lie. Let's not steal. Let's not thief. I didn't like Formula around some Kuti guys. I didn't like it. I'm gonna ruffle some feathers here. I didn't like Formula around some Kuti. I thought it was a bit surface level for a biopic. I don't think it did what it was supposed to do. I don't think I came to this space to say how I felt about it. Did I? I don't think I was around for the space. So yeah, I don't like Formula around some Kuti guys. What else didn't I like, guys? What was? Oh no, Strange was fine. Eh, what was the? Oh, yeah, I don't want to. You will leave. I don't want to rag on a first-time filmmaker, so I'm not gonna say too much about it. But chemistry, yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Chemistry.
Okay. All right. Vanessa ending with chemistry, but it seems like most of the vim was for was it for FRK? I guess mainly FRK. All right. Okay. Atas, welcome. You didn't give us your faves, but we're in the ones we don't like. So you can give us both. The ones you like and the ones you don't like.
I mean, the ones I like is truly a short list. I don't necessarily even know that there's any. I guess I did enjoy Afemifuna, many aspects of it. I also Yeah, I enjoyed After My Now. I didn't have as much of a problem as other people. And I still have quite fond memories of it. So After My Now, I enjoyed a Tribe Called Judah, surprisingly. It was very funny and had a lot of fun moments. But I think that's it. It's a short list. Kilboro was also okay for many parts of it. But I wouldn't say that there are any movies on this list that I love. They were good, decent. Um, and the ones I did not enjoy as strongly is really everything else. Um, I did not like chemistry because I felt like a waste of time. Familiarize and Kuti as well. And then I want to say Lottery, but I think A Weekend to Forget was actually worse for me. At least Lottery was like, I guess the desert was fun to look at, so it wins for having the desert. But it's been a sucky half year.
Okay, all right. Great. So the summary of fantastic feels of the year so far. All right. Alana, do you want to tell us some of the things you did, some of the films you did not like?
Yeah. I
Ah, we lost Alana.
just to movies because obviously they
Hello. Can I?
can you guys hear me?
I can hear you now.
Can you guys hear me?
It's going in
Oh,
and out, Olana.
Okay. Okay. Is it stable now?
Yeah.
Okay. So my first movies that I didn't like, I mainly don't like them because there was something before them and they could have built on those things and they just let it go to waste. And those are the Kujus again and Oloturi, the journey, because how do you go for something that was from really good in this case of introducing the Kujus or at least decent in Oloturi and then you come to whatever it is we ended up at. I mean, once again, Benjamin was in he was in the Kujis again. We did not see his name on the cast list. Let's not even, and he showed up like twice. So yeah, it was God, it was chaotic, and the highlight of the entire thing being Kunle Remy in Eto'o was just it deserved more. So yeah, those are my first two. Those are the first movies that I just don't like. And then the third one, I don't even know. I didn't know where to put it between not liking it and just overhyped. I don't know. But chemistry, or will I call it a disappointment? But chemistry, God, that movie incensed me in ways I don't think I've watched anything that's annoyed me to that point. From the infantilization of the wife, oh, she's a virgin, so let's just treat her like she's some I don't even know what's some child that doesn't have any form of like she can't even she doesn't even know where she's at. You mean that she started having her period and she didn't know that it would fall within that area? It was I kept on watching and the entire time I was watching that movie, I kept on saying, come on now. Like no, please. In fact, I can put this in two places. So yeah, I did not like chemistry. But I think it falls more under disappointment, but I'll just put it under dislike first. So yeah.
All right. Thanks, Alana. A few names have been coming up and recurring. Mrs. C, before I call upon you, I want to read Still Humans, bottom three. Strained, she said, well, I don't know. Strained, Still Humans says, still haven't completed it. What and Gary, waste of my time. And Nicolakwo, what even was that? Okay. Who's not me to say this, but Mrs. C, what did you not like?
Many, many things. There are many, many things I did not like. I don't know where to start from.
Start from the beginning.
I start. There are too many things I didn't like. I, I was literally just ranting this to you before we started film club. A Weekend to Forget. Their worst sin was not even a piano. It was the premise of this is going to be a place for the creme de la creme to mix, and it was a shitty serviced apartment. Basic ass serviced apartment.
Can I
That's
say,
the
did you
creme
not
de la
just put
creme.
this film in your favorite?
No, I didn't.
Didn't you, we just mentioned this film?
She gave
talked
it an
about the
honorable mention
Japiano.
for Japiano. Not too much on
Yes,
my
for
list.
Japiano. I enjoyed that, but it was a shit film.
Wow.
Dinner. Dinner. What was that? What was dinner? What was that? Anywho, that's just a dishonorable mention.
What didn't you like about dinner?
So much I don't like about dinner, including that we have a scene with sketchy consent. We don't even know what. Oh my goodness. I don't know what happened with dinner. Dinner didn't know what happened with dinner. Nobody knew what happened with dinner. Orisha, I'm putting Orisha in my bottom three. That's my actual bottom three
Damn it,
list.
that's all my
Orisha is in my bottom three. Orisha is an indication that we should take a step back, right? Just because King of Thieves, right? And a few Yoruba epics have, made a bunch of money and all of that, it don't mean that everybody should go into Yoruba epic. Relax, take a step back. I have a story you actually want to tell, and then tell a story. Even though me and King of Thieves have fight, right? But it did something to appeal to an audience. It's not to just put people in costume pieces, create a hut or borrow from Kole Afolanya Production Studios and put an old setting, and now you have done film. Everybody should. Orisha was unpleasant. Speaking of Kole Afolanya Productions and Nicola Akbar Rise of the Spectre. Why? When you don't have any more of a story to tell, stop. Right? Stop.
We
We
still don't know what the Spectre is.
still don't know what the Spectre is.
It has risen. That's all you need to know.
Just stop. I had so many questions. Nicolako. And why? Why was one of the main questions. Why? What is the plan? Why? So many whys. And speaking of so many questions, Oloture, another one. This is my firm top three now. Everything else is a dishonorable mention. Firm top three is Orisha, Anikulapo Rise of the Spectre, and Oloture. Oloture is another one where I had so many questions. My key questions were, pardon me, but what the fuck? Why the fuck? Those were my two major questions. Because again, what the fuck and why the fuck? Why were we doing this? Why were we doing this? And why did we drop this on the weekend of Sharon's wedding? Why?
Maybe those questions were also asked.
Oh my god. Now, dishonorable mentions. Strained. I hated that. I just don't think it deserves a firm position in the top three because it was barely a film. But I hated that. And so I decided that her mom lied. Her mom didn't leave her because she was abused. Her mom left her because she was bad vibes. I've never hated a character more than that. She was just bad vibes. I was like, whoever wrote this person hates her. Why are you such bad vibes? Why do you hate women? Why do you want everybody to stay there? Your husband's house, they're not beating you, but you want everybody to stay with who is beating them. Why? I also think her husband did not have a work emergency. She was bad vibes and he needed a break. She was bad vibes. She was bad vibes. Worst vibes. Anywho, special shout out to Tiwa Savage. Please don't do Water and Gary again. I love you, right, daddy. That video yesterday, I've watched it on loop too many times. I will sell my father's land for Tiwa Savage, but let's not do Water and Gary again.
Oh God. All right. Okay. I think all of my bottom three has been said, but by different people. The first one I have is The Kujus again. Yeah, that film is such a mess. I genuinely don't believe that the way that film panned out was anybody's idea. I don't think anybody looked at that film and was like, "Yep, that's what we intended to do, and it has come out okay." The way people were just coming out last minute, the way some people just disappeared from the film. Yeah, I just, especially because the first introducing the Kujis is one of I still hold that as the best version of what an ensemble Nollywood is so far. Like when you're just gathering a bunch of actors, I still think that's the best example we have of that. And so for the Kujis again to be not just a bad sequel, but one of the worst we've seen is quite something. All right. Then I have Orisha. Orisha is a film that I think I remember saying I checked out. I remember I didn't have my phone. I didn't have my phone. I wasn't pressing anything. I just kept on checking out. I just kept on not caring. And it's quite something. Especially it was one of the films that I think when we were watching was like, can we just decide we can't finish a film? It was the closest. I mean, I basically didn't finish because again, even though like the film was in front of me and I wasn't pressing any phone, nothing like that. I don't know what happened towards the last half of the movie. I don't care. Every once in a while, I would see something that was like, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. That's bad." Whether in the production, whether it was like making a horse like go nuts next to a child, it just bad, horrible, not good things. And the film, it was quite something to come to the space and realize that a bunch of people didn't even finish the film. So I think that has to take. And then the last one I have is Afame Funa, which some people might think I'm hating, which I am. That's fine, but I am hating because I. It's not just because it was kind of liked. I just think while I'm watching a film, it's definitely not the worst made film on our list, but I don't actually still know a story where so many of the character motivations, like I'm not going to do Elizabeth's version of the rant, but so many of the character motivations were just questionable and just not, it didn't make any sense to me. I couldn't, every time somebody from police officer to Alpha Mefuna to Polo, was it Polo? I don't know. All right. To Paul, to the babes, the love interest. None of the motivations made sense. So when I tell you, like, I genuinely think this movie is bad, it's not just a hating thing. I just couldn't follow any of the motivations. I know some people can. Please, it's your prerogative. You're wrong. It's your prerogative. But I couldn't follow anybody's motivation to do anything. Maybe with the exception of KOK. KOK was and like his character in there is like is the only one I could sort of believe anything. Everyone else, I didn't know why they were doing what they were doing. So those were my three big ones that it was very, very difficult to stomach. Okay. We might be repeating some things here. We're going to go into what we disagree with the NFC score the most. We might just be rehashing some things here based on some of the NFC scores. But like, if you think about the biggest differences, I can do one of my own just in case some people are confused by how this is supposed to go. But obviously, one of mine is going to be Afamifuna, right? Afamifuna, I think, has an NFC score of. Afamifuna has an NFC score of 78%. I think that's triply too high. Like I said, for all the reasons I just mentioned, it's just I don't understand. It felt like people filled in all the gaps that made all the leaps and filled in all the gaps that it couldn't take me on. And they've made their own movies, and that's probably why that's a 78%. But based on what the film was trying to tell, I just don't think that film and that right. But yeah, that's an example of what we mean by the ones you disagree with the most. Okay, all right. So we can start with, oh no, I'm so sorry, Alana. I've just been, yes, but we are starting. Oh no, it's Elizabeth. Sorry, it's Elizabeth. Elizabeth first. What score do you disagree with?
Let's look at it again. What score do I disagree with? She is that for me for now. Oh, if I say it today again now, they'll say that I'm a hater. But it's good as I'm a hater because you need one person to just open your eyes. Another is that I did not watch half. There are 23 films here, and I think I watched 10 or 11. So if there are worst one on this list, I don't know because I didn't watch it. I'm sorry. But Afamefuna. Next is Fumlayo Ransom Kuti. Potato, potato. Don't tell me that it's 50%. I think you should find its way down. Down, 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 down. I did not show up for it. And the last time I tried to watch Potato, Potato, it was like some 5 years ago or so. And then when I tried to watch it, I couldn't get past like the fifth scene. It was the most serious, like, you can't do it, you can't do it. I couldn't do it. So because of that, I believe it can still go down, down, down. That's also being said. I think that this was the beginning of the end for Shelley Frimpong Manso, because Babe used to write fire. She used to shoot fire. Every other thing I've watched since then, to Jesus be my glory. Which other one again? I really didn't watch like bad films this year. I know that they are here, but I didn't really watch. I think I played it safe. I watched some of the manageable ones, so they are. I think I don't mind wherever they are stand. Which one again can go down? I think Orisha can go down. I didn't watch it, but it can go down. It can go and share space with Water and Gary. That's all for me.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. All right, okay. Oh, Anna, do you want to tell us some of the ones you disagree with? Some films you disagree with the NFC score for?
Yeah, I actually agree with Elizabeth. I disagree with Alphabet Funa's score. I don't think it should have been 78%. I think we should have gone up a few notches and put it at like 83% because it was good. So yeah, I feel like it was like on my 80%. I also disagree with Kilboro's score. I feel like it should also have been higher. I don't know why chemistry has 27%. There was barely any chemistry in that movie, so it should have been like 20%. I feel like we were very nice with Water and Popo Gary because Water and Popo Gary should have been like 10% or lower, honestly. And Orisha too. Um, Orisha. I don't even know. Let me even check the score on Orisha because I also feel like that one too should have been lower. It entered 22%. I see wonders. So Orisha should have been on like 50% because I'm not even sure I successfully finished that movie. That's how not nice it was. And the Kujus again should have been higher. I don't like the 23%. I saw Kunle Remy without clothes for like 10 minutes. That should have been like an extra 10% at the least. So yeah, I feel like it deserves to go higher a little. I don't like that 23%. It's so unfair. Jesus, you guys are so ungrateful. Do you know what it is to see Kunle Remy just parading around with a tool? Hi God, I can't even believe he has that. And now, you guys, come on now. We can do better. Come on. So yeah, that's all.
I knew this was going to be interesting because I feel like every time I'm speaking to she is represents the NFC score. All her disagreements is like 2 or 3% up or down. Maximum was 7%. That's incredible. All right, no, but thank you. Let's we are all haters. All I believe is sometimes the NFC score was even too low. I like that. All right, okay. Next we have Vanessa.
Yeah. So I I think I think Afame Funa can go down to like 70. 78 is a bit much. Um to be quite frank with you, if I actually want to be sincere, I think it should be at like a 60 something. It's like a B score. It doesn't deserve an A. A film that doesn't deserve a B score is Adire. I'm so sorry. That film is below C average. That 65 is too high. Um yeah, potato too can go way down. It only, I don't know, I'm sure that 50% was only on this babe's hips. What's her name? Kí lorúkọ baby yẹn náà?
Jocelyn Dumas.
Jocelyn Dumas. That 50%, I'm very shocked when they are being carried by Jocelyn Dumas' hips. Because that film, I agree with Elizabeth, that was the beginning of the end for Shirley Free-Pagman. So if ever since then, I don't know what was in the potato water, but well. What else? Who else scored did I disagree with? I also disagree with Fumlayo and some Kuti score way lower. I don't think 73 is a good. Honestly, a good 65, 50 would be fine for Fumlayo and some Kuti. I think people are being too generous with it. What else? What else? I agree. What Gary could have gotten at least 20% based off of what is his name's face and Tiwa Savage's beauty. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna have to fight for my auntie. Postcards. You guys were mean to postcards. Postcards could have gotten a good 25%. You guys are mean to and what's her name? Um, what's her name? Hamisha.
woman.
Auntie
Your
Hamisha.
favorite
You
auntie.
people are mean to Auntie Hamisha. Hamisha Auntie deserves a good 30%. You guys gave postcards 17, and yes, you guys were scoring Orisha, gave Orisha 22%. The Kuchus again. No, guys, please. Postcards deserve at least a good 28%. Um, what else? Who else is scored? Did I disagree? Casa de Papel deserved a good 45. 33 is a bit too low. Come on, Taya Rumoro did not bare his chest for nothing. Come on. Casa de Novia should have gotten a good 45%. Annie Icha was carrying that film. She deserved higher. Yeah. I think Anikulakwa, The Rise of the Spectre could have gone a bit lower. That film was that a film, a series, whatever that was. Let's not do that again. Kilborough could have been a bit lower. I think a good 65. I feel like a lot of them are B plus films, and all the films are getting like 80. Even all the 70s can go a good 15% lower.
All right. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Vanessa. Vanessa is like all of people are raising these people's shoulders too high. They should calm down. Okay. All right. Get it. We get it. Otas, do you want to give us your huge disagreements with the NFC score?
Sure. Okay. I also think Afro should be a bit higher. Maybe not 83, but like 80%. I think that Fumi, I was very surprised by Fumilayo's score. Not gonna lie. I pegged that in at around like 50%. Same for Kilborough. But other than those two, a Green Fever is so high. That was definitely a 30% movie there. What else? Cujo's again, definitely higher. At least 30%. Like, come on, guys. Come on. There's something I'm thinking. Oh, Strained. Yes. So I actually forgot I watched Strained. And it wasn't until Mrs. C started talking about Strained that I was like, oh yeah, I did. I did watch that movie. It was bad vibes. And it's actually at the bottom of my list and should have been in my worst. And I think Strained is somewhere around 20%. Honestly, the 50% is so generous. Strained and Chemistry should be somewhere about 20%. But Chemistry was rated more correctly than Strained was. I don't know. I guess we had weeks of generosity, but yeah.
I agree. Weeks of generosity definitely applies. Okay. All right, Tara, do you want to give us, well, I know you have not given us your movies you liked. Maybe you can sneak it in when you're doing your disagreement with the NFC scores.
Okay, good evening, everyone. It's been a while. Well, the ones I liked actually are the top two. That's Meeting and Phone Swap. I have a soft spot for Algeria. I really liked the movie, so it's going to go up. I like Afamefuna too, so I guess. But I've tweeted several times, this year has been quite a disappointment in terms of the quality of movies that have been released. So on honesty, there is really nothing to like in that regard. Like, not exactly. That's why we are managing the ones that we have now. In terms of the score, I really liked Casa de Novia because I think I discovered early on that it was not the horror movie it was supposed to be from the trailer. It was just a chaotic movie. So, and it delivered in the area of it being chaotic. So I kind of think that if they had advertised it as a comedy instead of making it like a horror movie from the trailer and all that, probably it will have been better because we were expecting an horror movie and we saw a chaotic one. So I think it is because of the advertisement and what we expected versus what we got is why the movie is being rated so low. I think it could do higher, so let's say like a 45, 45-ish, because it was really chaotic, an absolute chaos. So I think so. Um, a tribe called Judah. Well, I saw the movie at the cinemas. I saw it again on Prime. I do not, in all honesty, think it deserves a 68%. It should be lower, in my opinion. Yes, all of us, and I think that a lot of times when we vote for these movies, our sentiments and biases come into play. I'm a very huge fan of Funke Akindele, but I think that A Tribe Called Judah would be a little lower than it is right now on that list. Then Kilboro, maybe for people that are cinematic and of all that, all the other effect, but it was kind of boring. So maybe 65-ish. So Kilboro should be a little bit down. A Trap Called Judah a little bit down. Ajure should go up a little. Same for Casa de Nubia. That's my opinion on this. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Herrera, and welcome back. All right. Ben Casino, do you want to give us some of the movies you liked this year from the Nollywood Film Club discussions and the ones you did not like, and maybe give us the things you disagree with the NFC score on?
Okay, I'm still picking out. I'm still like getting it together. So any other person that wants to talk can go on while I make up my
Okay.
mind.
All
Thank you.
right, Mrs. C, do you want to do the biggest disagreements with the NFC score?
Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna start with FRK 73 was a very generous week. I think we should have been hovering around 50 for FRK. Let's not lie, let's not steal. Olozuri The Journey 28 was very, very generous. It should have been with postcards on 17. Postcards I don't have a score for, to be honest, because I barely watched it. Let me see what else. Watangari is just right. I think Mommy Wa was also very generous. We gave that a 51%. I don't know why we gave Mommy Wa a 51%. We were being very generous. Not too mad, but 30. 30 seemed about right. Orisha 22% should have been with postcards at 17. Anikulapo Rise of the Spectre should have been in the 20s. The Kujas again is fine where it is. I'm also with Afamifuna. Afamifuna should have been a solid 55. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Mrs. C. Is Ben Casino? I'll give you more time by going next. First off, I'd like to say that if you minus all of the scores by 20 from the NFC scores, they would still be too high for me. That's including anything that did not make 20. But the ones I just think I disagree with the most, FMF, and I think I already mentioned, FRK, Strained, and the Kujas again. I know that the Kujas again is on like 20 something percent. I generally think that's too high. I think that's 23%.
Definitely not.
The Cougars again, 23%. Again, I genuinely think if you ask the people who made the in the movie, do you like this movie? I think all of them say no. So this is not a movie. I think you know anybody really. I don't think anybody respects this movie, including the people. Again, I'm including everybody who made it because I don't think this is what this was their intention of what the final product should have been. I think maybe bad things happen along the way, and we got what we got. But there's no way this was something. It's just the biggest mess from the most talented people that we could have gotten maybe since I want to say Chief Daddy too, but I don't know if the cast of I don't think the cast of Chief Daddy 2 are as good as the cast of the Cougars again. So I'm gonna I'm gonna hold the Cougars again extremely close, and yes, I'm going to find them for misuse, misallocation of talent. All right. So Ben Casino, do you want to
Eh, sorry, I'm looking at the ratings right now. So I would say I'll start with what's it called, Anikulapo. I think the rating was quite low here. I don't know. For me, I would give it a 50. Right then, the Kudus again, just like you said. Seriously, 23 is still too much for the Kudus again. I'm sorry to say, I would still bring it down to like 15 or so. Afame Funa, I think it was too high here too. I would take it down to 50. Casa de Novia, I actually enjoyed that. I mean, the whole VFX and stuff, it was top notch. So I would raise it to 50. A tribe called Judah. A tribe called Judah. So someone said something here, right? That sometimes we are being sentimental while doing these things, and I agree with that because, to be honest, for me, a tribe called Judah was really a basic story, right? Just with A-list actors and stuff. So 68 is quite much. Let's forget about the production, how it travelled, and all of that. We are talking about the film itself. So a tribe called Judah, I would give it a 30. Yeah, strained. To be honest, at some point I was asking, is this really a Netflix movie? I didn't really feel it the way. It's a nice story, right? But I feel like it was kind of poorly interpreted, and the choice of dialogues, the acting in some parts, I don't know. So I would still take it down to like maybe 30 or something. Water and Gary, 12% is good, but if you can permit me to like remove 2%, so it will just be 10. Right, Qboro, okay, 72 is not bad. Um, okay, let's just leave that. Fumila Rasom Kuti, I think that was nice. That was a nice film, right? So, except I do have like some parts I don't really feel, but um, I'll give it I'll just add like maybe 6 more marks to it. So we'll have like 79. I'll be what, I don't know. So that was nice. Which other one? Orisha, yeah, Orisha is good at 22. All right. Okay. I've not seen all the films here. I think. Okay. What's the name? A Green Fever. That was nice. That was nice. I would raise it to like 60%. All right. Let me take a look at the rest of them that I've seen. So let me think deeply and see what I can give them. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. All right. So next, I guess I wanted to leave a space for movies. Before we actually go to that, I'm just going to read a couple more of people's Comments. Dewumi says Adira can go down as well. I do not understand most of the characters. Whatever chemistry is, it should be lower. Looking at this list, and 2024 has been a very tough year. Back-to-back disappointments. Torero said I didn't even start to reach. The trailer was enough to discourage me. Okay. So yeah, this next segment is just space for recommendations. Is there anything, any Nollywood film that people saw that they want to discuss or that they want to recommend outside of the things the Nollywood Film Club discussed? So if you have anything, this is a good point. In the comments as well, we'll take comments. Maybe some of you have been seeing some things on YouTube that you want to recommend. This is the space for that. Okay. It's possible there's not. It's possible there's not going to be.
It's not looking good, bruv. Even YouTube,
It's not
looking
even
good.
YouTube
It's not looking good.
is not looking good.
So we have not missed any. We have not missed any gold. That's what people are saying.
Gold care.
No diamonds. We have missed. Okay. All right. Fine. Okay. I'll let that. We can go into a summary for in terms of what 2024 has felt like so far, and maybe in comparison to 2023. I don't know. Like, are we? I don't know. Is this a summary or is this a different segment? No. Let's just do summary. 2024. Give us your summary for Nollywood in 2024 so far. Let's start with Elizabeth.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Can we come again?
Yeah, a summary for 2024 so far.
There is no summary. There's no summary. You guys, I'm not mad though. In fact, at this point, I feel like Nollywood wants my progress. Nollywood wants my progress because I'm in school, right? I'm studying for MBA. I'm being a mommy. I'm working 40 hours a week. I have all of these things, and Nollywood said you need rest. You need rest. And Nollywood said this year we will do things differently. We're gonna give you shitty films. When we give you enough shitty films, you will face your study, you will face your life, you will face your life. And this is me thanking Nollywood for giving themselves such a shitty year. I've had to look for other interests. Sometimes I stare at the ceiling, I think about my life, I read a book. In fact, I forgot I used to like to read books. Guys, I used to even review books. I've read books this year. I've even started watching films from other countries. I started watching, let me know, like, I opened Showmax and I went to go and watch. You guys should do it. Adulting. God. I must have watched that public holiday they gave us first 2 days. I watched Adulting and I watched this other one about outlaws. People of God, the South Africans on Showmax, they are writing. The acting, it's a lot. It's there. Nollywood, thank you for having a shitty year for yourself. And thank you, Nollywood Film Club, for letting us watch old films again. Some throwbacks here and there. For the ones we did not discuss on NFC, you guys should watch Omoni Oboli's channel. Don't worry. The quality is manageable, passable. For those of us who were OG Iroko TV watchers, rest in peace, Iroko TV. Don't rest in peace, but rest in peace. I really love that. 10 years of my life on that medium. But if you miss old Iroko TV, you can watch it. You can catch it on Omoni Oboli TV. You can watch some of it. A couple on Film People. Don't watch Ruth Kadiri again. No, you people. The quality is bad. Everything there is bad. Nollywood, sorry that you're having a shitty year. It's good for me. I managed to have first semester, I had 2 A's, 2 B's. Second semester, 2 results just as 1 A, 1 B. Let's keep it up. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Elizabeth. Get an applause for that summary. All right.
The applause was for her scores, though, I beg.
Is it?
The applause was for her scores.
Okay.
What are we supposed to have scores?
No, your first semester and second semester grades. That's what I
Oh,
was
I'm a
applauding.
great. I'm doing good. Momo, we
Yes,
budget.
well done, baby girl.
All right, Vanessa, do you want to give us a summary for 2024?
Yeah, it's been horrible to say the least. See, the problem is, if you can't cry, you have to laugh because you're saying in comparison to 2023, it wasn't like 2023 was any better either. We were talking about how bad 2023 was and like the potential for hope for 2024, and then we got into this year and it was like it will. We're halfway through the year and none of the. I'm so sorry, guys. None of the releases have hit. None of the releases have hit. Is it a Nicolapo? It didn't hit. Fumila Ransom Kuzi? It didn't hit. None of the big guys are hitting. The YouTube people who I used to have, like, not like I used to compare the films on YouTube with Netflix and the things of that nature, but like to a large extent, like I used to watch them to fall asleep in it. And I thought last year Ruth Kadri was on a good run, and I was like, oh, potential. And then I don't know what happened to Ruth Kadri this year. It just went down, 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 downhill. Omani Oboli came onto the scene, and the thing with Omani Oboli is touch and go. Like a nice majority of the stuff is all right, watchable, but like there's some months I'm like, what's going on here? um Even with YouTube now, I have to really like search and like do a start and stop 90% of the time to see if there's something to watch. I won't lie to you, I'm like Elizabeth. This year in Nollywood, this is the first time my attendance sheet on NFC is horrible. I genuinely, I can be charged for truancy. Like this is the most I've not been to NFC since I've started NFC in like 20, what, 21. When did we start? Um yeah, it's not looking good. I will say the way Nollywood is motivating me to consider like hobbies. Like back to reading. I'm looking into possibly learning how to play tennis, guys. As you can, I just came back from white people activities. I went hiking on a hill. Like this is what I'm saying. Like Nollywood isn't see this year is just saying find other activities where this is not the place for you, which is sad, which is incredibly sad. Because like the thing about Nollywood is almost like they give you like a sliver of hope and then they take it back, and they're like, "Ooh, you actually thought that this was going to be a great year. Like there was potential here. There is a and the problem is 90% of the time is they're all patting themselves on the back for making magic and and a job well done on this on set, and then we see the finished product and we're like, okay, so where's the magic now? And yeah, genuinely, everybody find hobbies, do stuff, progress in life. If you want to go back to school, guys. This is the time. At least you can cut off Nollywood for a good 6 months to a year, however long your program is, and you will move forward in life and possibly become a billionaire.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Vanessa, for that summary. Vanessa says find hobbies. Wow. All right. I need to rethink this Nollywood Film Club. All right. Atas, do you want to give us your summary of 2024 so far?
Sure. Yeah, no, it hasn't been great. Like Vanessa, I think I've also missed a good amount of these movies. And some of them are just because I started it and I was like, nah. Like I didn't watch Postcards, Water and Gary, Mumiwa. Like I think half of this list probably I didn't watch. When I see the scores, it's always the ones that I started and closed. So, but I, the one thing I will say that has gone well this year, and well in brackets, is that this year the movies have been a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Experimental. The movies have been a little more experimental, so I've admired some of the things that were attempted, even if they failed. Just because that usually means the landscape is changing a little bit, and at some point, hopefully, they will figure out the experiments and it will go well. It's just not going well right now. But I think movies like Adire was telling a unique story. Casa de Novia was telling a unique story. A Green Fever was definitely telling a unique story. A Tribe Called Judah told a unique story. So there have been some decent plots, maybe even some decent stories written that I would like to read as books, but just did not translate as well on the Nollywood screen for various reasons. But yeah, that's kind of it. But no, even YouTube does generally suck. Ruth Kadiri is definitely more misses than hits this year. So it's a trying year, but I think that a lot of other things have been happening that I'm excited for, and some of them is just some of the stories that we're telling now.
All right. Trying year. Thanks, Tessa. Ben Cassina, do you want to give us a summary for how Nollywood has treated you this year, or how you've seen Nollywood this year from your point of view?
Okay, just like everyone has been saying so far, we we expected more this year, right? I mean, because last year was like, I mean, everybody can attest that last year was better. I mean, so far, right? So, but nevertheless, I would say that in as much as we are in July already and we're yet to like have something to compare with last year, right? So I'll say that we can let's give them more time, right? So because we still have like 6 more months to go for the year, and there have been like trailers that we've seen over the past months that the movies are yet to be released. Talking about films like what's it called, Finding Messiah, and I mean there are a bunch of them. So I'm really looking up to these movies, and I hope they are like the ones that just like last year when a movie like what's it called, Breath of Life, it came at late. If I can remember, it was like really late. So probably a good number of these filmmakers are saving the best for the last. I don't know. So, but I'm really looking up to more movies that are gonna be released. And nevertheless, you talked about recommending some films. I think I have there's this new film by Lee Akimulayan Anthill Studios. So Criminal, yeah, I think that's a nice film. I mean, it has its loops, but then so far I enjoyed seeing the film, so I do recommend the film. Um, there's a film I was looking for in this list. I really, really can't wait to critique the film more, right? And I don't have any bad intentions about it, but the film was like a total. I don't know. I'm talking about Kesari. Yeah, I believe a good number of us must have seen Kesari. There's this other one, Beast of Two Warlords, right? I think I got that. So, these movies, right? I I don't know. I don't know. They are just playing with our intelligence or what. So, I do hope we still have like good movies coming out this year. Yeah, definitely. Because as we speak right now, some filmmakers are like putting in the work. Kemi Adetiba is cooking. I think there is she's King of Boys 3 is in books. There's this other film she finished production already. To Kill a Monkey. There are good filmmakers out there that are planning on something big, and with I do have high expectations that they are going to come out well. Um, Nevertheless, Nollywood can do better. Someone said that they tried experimenting in different things. I agree with that because, over the years, it's been like the same thing over and over again. So, but this year, in as much as they did not bring out the very best in it, at least it was an effort. So, YouTube films, I'm not such a fan of YouTube films, Ruth Kadiri, Money Oboli, and all of that. So I can't really tell the kind of contents they put out, but I wouldn't say that we should dwell on YouTube films to rate Nollywood's efforts for this year.
Mm.
So yeah, that's it actually. We hope for a better Nollywood later on.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mrs. C, do you want to give us your summary of the year so far?
Um, I'm going to thank Otas for giving me a bit of a bright side to, there have been some attempts outside of BAU. But yeah, I don't know. It's not there've been a couple things, but yeah, it's not been the best of the first halves. It's not been the best of the first halves. I don't even know what's on track for later part of the year. And someone's just mentioned King of Boys 3 in the works. Let's not do that. I'm just going to call your attention back to the sequels I've mentioned. We've talked about Kujus again, Olotiri. Not every sometimes stop. Sometimes stop.
I have a feeling.
Yeah, what are you feeling?
Okay, because I saw Kemi Ade post that snapshot of the script, and at least it's written in episodes. Whereas the last one,
it was written as a film, and then they cut it.
They
Yeah,
couldn't cut. They couldn't cut, so it ended up being a TV series. That's more hopeful.
So yeah, so it might look more like a series than the last one.
That's I like your hope.
But is there a story there to tell still?
Oh,
anyway,
yes,
let it not be like I am.
You're so optimistic. I love you guys for this.
You guys, it's like Canada have optimism.
No,
not
it's
me.
good. It's good. You can't run NFC without optimism. I mean, look at the rest of us.
I think the word you're looking for is Delulu. He can't run NFC without Delulu.
Delulu is his only Solulu at this point.
It's the only Solulu.
You guys can't be saying that about me when I said NFC score is like if you put it 20% lower, it would not be where I'm not.
But
I'm
we
not
are looking for hobbies.
But sure, every Sunday we see you here.
No, well, not every. I have been so bad this year.
No, I'm talking to Ekene.
Exactly.
Every Sunday you're here.
Yeah.
Delulu is the Solulu. Sure. Should I have told you to go to school and learn filmmaking so that you can critique proper? All of you at NFC, they've told everybody to go to school.
I don't know. I'm optimistic. I'm not even delusional. I'm optimistic.
All right.
I'm hoping for better because honestly, I liked a lot of Kilborough, right? And I like the idea of what's going on with this first feature thing.
Just taking my thing. All right, but
sorry. Surprising to know that your wife has a few things in common with you. Anywho, but yeah, I like where we're going with this first feature thing. I think it's a really interesting route to take, and I want to see what more comes out of that. So yeah, you know what? I'm gonna ginger myself and get a healthy dose of Delulu and optimism for the second half of the year. Let's fucking go.
All right. Okay. First off.
Mm-hmm.
Beloved don't like that. She's using bad language. You should not.
Oh my God, it's Beloved here. I'm so sorry.
Let's go. I think that I was going to say the first features thing is the brightest spark from all of this. Even in something that I didn't really like in as much in A Father's Love, Kilborough was the one that I did like more. In terms of the way there's something about that, all that, even It Blooms in June. I haven't seen Cake yet. I need to go visit that to see whether it has.
Don't do it.
I need to get.
I actually tried to watch It Blooms in June. I feel like I was too hard on it. Maybe I should go back and complete it.
Yeah. It's not. There's something. There's a different feel. So when people say it's doing something different, I somehow agree with that, and I don't. I think it just can be a little bit more because I think when people, I wouldn't add Casa de Nigeria as part of like it is doing something different, even though like I agree on the surface it looks like it's doing something different, but Ant Hill doing a VFX thing where they don't have story, they haven't figured out story and plot motivations, and it looks like it's just they just want to they just want to mess with. They're leaning on effects heavy, or they have their you see their interest is somewhere else. That's not uncommon. We see that with set pieces, or Antil has even done like something like I would say not to trigger knee, but that knee is first this thing that with Desmond Elliott, that's one that did not really make it. And this is not to sort of not to put it's not to demean somebody's works and effort. I just think I've seen that flavor of, oh, let's try this particular thing, because the heart isn't in the story and on what they want to tell. I don't feel the same way about about Kilbur. I don't feel the same way about A Father's Love, and I don't feel the same way about Blooms in June. Maybe that feels a little bit UTB, but even at that, at least it feels there's a different. It feels like a different flavor, and that's why this first features thing is only a first step. All of these filmmakers need to be supported to get that next one, so they don't get better. Because what will happen is that this type of filmmaking might get we might get used to it, and we're like, oh, it will just become another anthill where, oh, okay, they want to do effects thing, they want to show effects, and they've just forgotten about the story and that kind of thing, right? You just get used to that kind of thing. So my I'm Steve Gukas. This is your project that you want to do first feature project. I'm really in for it. I hope so, because they've done their first project now, right? They don't qualify again.
Yeah.
But I hope somebody does support them into making more films and even give them that guiding hand in how they should continue to go about filmmaking. And I hope that comes out amounts to something. I still think Funke is I'm hoping. It's just that I think I saw this year she's doing Jennifer, which I'm just not a fan of. A Tribe Called Judah, I still think writing wise is one of the best things that has gone. It's like one of the best cinema films that we have seen in Nigeria, maybe ever. But I don't know about this year, Sha, if it's going to be Jennifer. I think she has another thing she's doing. Maybe that's, I can't remember the one everybody's doing dance for. Whatever that one is. Hopefully. But yeah, that's the general gist. I hope first those people with the first feature film can be given more, and I hope there's more people from that project that comes along and give us at least a different flavor. I want to at least, even if we don't get it right, at least let us fail in interesting ways, because it's just, oh, Charles cares so much about the gloss, so does Ebony Life. It feels like Antil cares so much about VFX, and it feels like, I don't know what Inkbloods is focused on, but it's Shana filmmaking. Inkbloods is focused on something.
They did Moria and Co.
What's
And
Moria?
honestly, I didn't watch it to start with, but so I really can't say anything about it. But I would say that the direction they're going with is the direction that they could have worked 3 years ago. I don't know if anybody get like the things we would have gone to watch in the cinemas. Maybe like Chief Daddy 1
Right.
or Her Excellency. Like I feel like those kind of comedy, like a slapstick thingy that was quite popular 2-3 years ago. It feels like Inkblot has not caught up.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like Inkblot seems to be, even I even think Inkblot's making Inkblot is making a worse version of what Jade is trying to do. And honestly, with Brotherhood and Gangs of Lagos, I think Jade's if not for the trade, but the trade was even made earlier. But like, I think those two, they feel like Nigerian versions of Hollywood films. They're not as bad as some of the other things, but like that's what I'm saying. Ink Blots is doing a worse version of that for me. What is this? That movie with Funke and Kindele and where she was, I can't remember. And Ikechukwu was he an FBI agent? And so
Oh yes, and
yeah,
that one.
see,
That one.
I can't remember.
Where they were
The little
Thank you,
girls.
yeah, and they had to blackmail her into helping. Chidi Mokeme was in it.
Oh,
It
the
was
one
married to
that was
Chioma
a drug
Ipuka,
dealer.
Chioma
Oh,
Ipuka.
That
Yeah.
that
Yes,
one
the
that
Chioma
they
caught her
that
that they were drug dealers.
oh
oh
God.
that one the handmaiden tale, the handmaiden, the Korean film. I think it had that similar premise, isn't it?
I don't.
I can't remember.
I
I
don't
don't
know,
know.
but it has something to do with a journey. The name have something to do with a trip.
Is it
Okay.
that one with Adesua?
No.
Oh,
No.
sorry, I'm mixing them up
The
now.
Chioma Akota and
The setup
Chidi
is
Mokeme ran a church, but it was a front for a bunch of criminal
yeah,
behaviors.
just
So I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
just the most. I don't know. Again, that's on a yeah. I guess that's what I was thinking about when I was thinking about Hollywood. It's just Hollywood story that they've copied and they just don't know. They haven't
Yeah, I know that
localized
this
it
is not
anywhere near.
a let's talk about ink blood space, right? But I feel like
Um, yeah, yeah, just going through all the
yeah,
versions
all
of
the names
like
of the
how
I
all
would
these
just
things
say
feel
one
tired.
thing though. I think that's what the problem. You know how with Ant Hill, they are. You know Ant Hills. You're not confused about Ant Hill's direction, right? When you see Ant Hill's story, you know that story comes third, VFS comes first. But you see the effort because when you see any Nia Kimalayan films, is at least the sets. It does that thing with his sets, like you be impressed. But you see a touch of what is involved in. With Inkblot, at some point I'd say that Inkblot has to be convoluted storylines, convoluted plot lines, because there's always something happening. It's almost as though they want this to be uh, the story should be telenovela, but you cram it up into a 90 minutes film and things are just happening every time. Really, I
Yeah,
feel like
that's
that is what
right.
I feel like Inkblot's direction is at all the
That's
time. The
right.
stories are convoluted.
I just remembered also Far From Home. Again,
Oh
a
yeah.
mixture
Oh
of
yeah, that's
we're
my own
borrowing Hollywood
personal
and
vendetta.
then the convoluted end as where everything is happening everywhere all at once at the same time. But yeah, everybody has their own thing. Even what's his name? Kunle Afolayan. His this thing is just it
I don't
is
know. I think he wants to retire and he doesn't know how to go about it. And it feels like
If you hand
if
out
he
shows
releases this much, you people will say, please go, don't do it again. And then he'll go, he'll retire to his farm or
this
something.
the stories are just the gang. Everything feels so tired. Everybody's different lane that they're trying to do at this point feels tired. That's why that first feature projects feels refreshing. So anyway, that's my very long summary of how this year is going. Uchenna gave a recommendation. Uchenna said, "I'd like to recommend the YouTube series Selena Tested. It's been running for about 3 years. So I don't know if NFC has touched it in the past. For a budget production, it's pretty compelling." Okay, I haven't seen it. I don't know whether it's going to be my thing. Anybody on here seen that and can attest?
I'm
Yeah.
actually going to start watching it. Never seen it, but
Okay,
I'm adding it to my list.
all right.
I
Atas,
thought
what
you
was
seen
it?
it.
Atas, you were cutting off. Did you say you've seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. I said it has its moments. I don't think I've watched the last season, but it's okay. I wouldn't say it's great.
Okay, all right. Well, there we go. Two resounding recommendations. Uh, but yeah, all right. I guess that's the year in summary. But thanks everyone for joining. We are taking a break. 1 week. You guys deserve it. You guys deserve more, to be honest.
Go and
You
enjoy
guys deserve it. You guys deserve it because you guys show up all the time, even when the films are shit, even when you don't want to watch it. You guys deserve the break. In fact, you can take 3 weeks. However, why?
Leo, you know how to move away from NFC.
Man. Anyway, but when we are back again, I think we're coming back again with a football film or something like that. I can't remember. I think it's Uche Jumbo's football film. I don't know.
Okay.
Don't ask me. And it's starring my guy. What's his name? And the one Minimi was shading during that his TV series. What's his name?
Oh,
Zubi is
not my
is
Zuby
is
Michael.
is Zubi or
Play
Zubi.
football.
It's like
Is
I
it
don't
a
know.
film or a series
It's giving goal.
that they turned a film that they turned? Is it a film or a series? Because Shantytown.
It's Netflix that used to do that one. This one is coming on Prime, so
Okay.
it's Netflix
So
that
it
used to
should
do
be
that.
film. Okay.
Netflix currently pays more for a series
They
or
gotta-
something because
they
like
gotta-
some of these things aren't making sense. But yeah,
As long as he isn't playing a 20-year-old discovered football star, we're not going to have too many.
Maybe
keep an
be a
open
manager.
keep an open mind. Taz, what's
Oh
wrong
my
with it? Yeah, old Zubi being found. Yeah.
Suspension of disbelief.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. I mean, it's not good. You can suspend your disbelief.
No suspend.
All right, okay, but I hope you guys enjoyed the break and come back refreshed in 2 weeks. But thanks, guys, for all of you. I think the podcast will probably drop one of the old conversations. So if you're still on the podcast, you still get an episode. You need no break for you.
So no break for the weekend, to be honest.
Okay, but anyway, thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the episode. If you enjoyed listening and would like to join live, just follow us on Twitter at Iroko Critic and join us every Sunday 6 p.m. West African time on our spaces.